welcome back to Section 431. This is episode 8. We're going to look today, me and Travis, we're going to look today at the Week 16 recap. We got playoff man is getting crazy in the NFL. We'll have Week 17 predictions for you guys, as well as we'll look at the playoff machine again and see how these games will affect the playoff outcomes. It's coming to the end, buddy. It's coming to the end. Week 17 this week. So welcome again, guys. Stay tuned. Travis is going to come up first with a little hello here.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Yeah, week 16 was an interesting one. We're getting towards the end of the season here, and it's getting right down to it on both the NFC side and the AFC side. I had to think about that for a second. It's been a long day.
Yeah, man. It is tight.
Yeah, but for week 16, let's go ahead and start off with the Vikings and Saints on Christmas. And I think the big story in this game was Alvin Kamara, 6 touchdowns. He tied the record for the most touchdowns rushing in a game. Insane. Dalvin Cook, 73 yards a touchdown. Adam Thielen, 97 yards a touchdown. And then you had Kamara, 155 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, just 6 touchdowns. Yeah, it's just a record-breaking day or tying day.
Yeah, But I kind of posted this on Twitter, too, on my personal account. I was like, Kamara wouldn't have done that against a good tackling defense.
God. True Panthers fan, man. True Panthers fan. Look, I'm just glad he finally got touches, because all year he's been one that's like, he's been a factor in the passing game, but of course, he's kind of a lot like your guy McCaffrey. He's a 1,000-yard rushing, 1,000-yard receiving kind of guy.
Yeah.
And they finally gave him his touches in this game, which the Vikings aren't top defense this year, but it ticked me off actually when they handed it to Taysom Hill. For one of the rushing touchdowns in that game. He could have had 7, but it was good to see. Like, he's been there all year for the Saints. When Breeze was down, when Michael Thomas has been down, Kamara's been the guy week in, week out for the Saints.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's good for him to get that accolade there of tying the record that was from 1929.
Yeah, it was an old record, man.
Yeah, I think that guy was actually the team's kicker too. I think it was with Chicago or something, but he scored 40 points in one game because he kicked the extra points and the field goals. But yeah, great day, of course, for the Saints. They have a shot at getting the number 1 seed, which we'll look at later. It's they need a little bit of help to get that. But,
I saw that. That was a little complicated, and I was like, okay, then we'll figure that out.
We'll dive into that, and I'll be able to break that down for you guys. Probably do that at the midway point and kind of we don't really have a middle section today. It'll kind of tie in with our week 17 picks. Just because it's the last week, so we gotta kind of have to tie it together.
Yep.
But great day for the Saints. Drew Brees, 311 yards, pretty good day. Only just 2 interceptions. Kamara kept taking the ball on the handoff, so he didn't pass for a touchdown. But yeah, great day, great game for them. I was worried about them because it is the Vikings who have continuously upset the Saints the past few years in dramatic fashion. Christmas Day, that could have been really bad for some Saints fans, but they did come out with a win and a record-breaking day there.
Yeah.
And then next up, we had the Saturday games, which was 3 games. And the first one was the Bucs and the Lions, and the Lions honestly got kind of screwed in this. They would have lost either way, I think. But they lost their coach to contact tracing. If they'd have postponed it to Sunday, he would have been able to coach if he tested negative and everything.
Yeah.
But NFL said, no, we're not moving, we're not budging on this. And a lot of people saw that as it's a little unfair. The Lions aren't really in the playoff hunt. But the Ravens are one that, to be honest, they've gotten some preferential treatment for them, and some other teams as well. But the Ravens, it seems like, has won continuously. So a lot of fans were a little upset that the Ravens are getting this treatment and not their team. But
Yeah. I mean, this game was so bad for the Lions, like
It
you
was
said,
so
without the
bad.
coach.
Yeah.
Stafford went down early, and then after that, it was just pretty much done. Like Brady, 348, 4 touchdowns.
In one
Then,
half.
then Gabbert came in 143 and 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans, 181 and 2. Gronk, 58 and 2. Godwin, 84 and 1. Like, the Buccaneers had all the big stats in this one.
Yeah.
Chase Daniel came in. David Blow came in. Or Blau.
Yeah.
Blau.
I think they pronounce it Blau, but it looks like it would be Blow. But yeah.
Yeah. it was
Um,
a bad game.
yeah, for the Lions for sure. Little practice basically for the Bucks.
Yeah, definitely.
And they were without Ronald Jones too, and Keyshawn Vaughn led the team with rushing with just 62 yards. But I mean,
Yeah.
they spread the ball around a little bit on the run game. But yeah, and the Bucks, the big story there, 13-year playoff drought has ended for the Bucks with Brady on the squad, and where Brady's coming from in New England, they are not going to be in the playoffs this year for a 14-year playoff streak they had. So I think it's clear to say that Brady was the bigger piece in that Patriots team, at least what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all
But
Belichick
then
there.
again, the Patriots don't have the team that they used to either.
Well, if they had Brady, what do you think that team would be? And that's where the difference is. I mean,
Yeah, if they had Brady, they might be a wild card team, I think.
oh yeah,
I don't think they
the
win
Bills
the
are
division with
loaded
Brady.
this year. So I mean, I think the Bills still come out on top, and then the Dolphins and Patriots would have been a fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Cam Newton just makes it just a run team, and it works sometimes. You get you work the clock, you get field position, and they won some games that way. Their defense was really great that day, but yeah, I think I'm pretty sure the fans are missing Brady up in Massachusetts there, and Foxborough.
Yeah, definitely.
But big one there for the Bucks. Just get it done, get out of there, and no injuries. They took care of business. The Lions, they probably moved up in the on the draft board there. But yeah, it was kind of a raw deal to not have your coach, and I think they were missing a couple coaches actually.
Yeah,
so
I
it
think so,
wasn't completely fair. And then Matt Stafford was banged up too, so that's just the way it goes sometimes there. But
Yeah, you're right.
47-7 final score there. And Bucks moved to 10-5. Lions dropped to 5-10. And the Bucks, I believe, they're locked into the playoffs, so they'll be the 5 seed, I believe. So yeah, good one there for them. And then next we had the 49ers and Cardinals.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals needed to win that one to kind of now they're bumped out of the playoffs by losing.
Yeah, the Bears are in, aren't they?
Yeah, they're tied with the Bears, and the Bears have the tiebreaker. So, 49ers help the Bears there a little bit by taking the win. Great day by the Niners. Jeff Wilson, man, he killed it in fantasy football. If you had him, I unfortunately played against him. I think in 2 different leagues.
Dang.
George Kittle came back at 92 yards. Kyler Murray did what he does with the Cardinals, but it just wasn't enough against the Niners defense there.
Yeah, I was about to say, Kittle came back in this game, which is kind of cool to see, especially if you had him in fantasy.
Yeah.
He kind of helped there at the end. I think I picked him up in our league just to have him, because I don't know why.
Yeah, I have him on IR still in one of my leagues. It hasn't made me kick him out. But I didn't want to rush him back this last week, and I'm playing for 5th place in the ESPN league. So
Yeah. But it was good to see him back. Good win for the 49ers. Bad loss for the Cardinals, like you said. That hurts them. That hurts them a lot when it comes to playoffs.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to it. There's a lot of ways that the Cardinals can still get in, but they are on the outside looking in, so they're gonna need help and they're gonna need to win to get into the playoffs. I'm hearing an echo now.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. But Let's see, where were we at? Cardinals.
Yep.
So I think they obviously need the Bears to lose and they win.
Yeah.
That could get them in, but we'll look into it in more details because the Rams are also involved in it, which they play against. The Cardinals play against the Rams, I believe, or Bears
Yeah.
against the Rams. So, but we'll get into that. But yeah, good day for the Niners, man. If they didn't have all the injuries, all the stuff they've gone through this year, the Niners, man, they got the same record as like Washington and Dallas with all these injuries, and they're still
Yeah.
playing playoff teams with the backup. So, hats off to those guys. Next year, I think they're gonna be loaded because if they can draft well and get guys to come back and get back healthy. Next year, they could be one of the favorites, in the NFC. So
Yeah. It is crazy because they got like 5 running backs they can choose from.
yeah, for real.
Like, hey, who wants to run the ball this week? You?
And they're all quick too. Like they're all
Yeah.
fast guys. So I mean,
Like, think about it. Mostert, Jeff Wilson, isn't McKinnon on the team too?
yeah, I think he's still there. Yeah. Let me actually, I can look. Yeah, even Beathard ran in that game, but this past game, Wilson was definitely the feature back with 183 yards. Yeah, and Tevin Coleman's another piece there too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, 49ers, man, and Brandon Ayuk's really come on strong here lately. They got good receivers. Get them all healthy and get them all playing. The quarterback situation next year, I've heard rumors that Garoppolo may get traded. They may try and bring in somebody else.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going to happen with quarterbacks if all the rumors are true here. I mean, you got Stafford, you got Wentz, you got Matt Ryan. They could all be moving somewhere else next year. And
Yeah.
then, and two, Breeze, this may be his last year. So the Saints
Yeah.
are going to have to decide somebody there too. So it's going to
Yeah,
be
it's gonna be
interesting. We're going to have some off-season talk for sure this
definitely.
year. But 49ers moved to 6-9. They're not in the playoff hunt obviously, and the Cardinals move out of the playoffs right on the bubble at 8-7. Again, they got to beat out the Bears to get that last spot. But yeah, tough loss for the Cardinals.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we closed off Saturday with a wild game, man. It seems like it was so long ago with all the Christmas stuff and everything that went on this
Right.
weekend and all that. But there was a game Saturday night that was just flat out amazing.
Yeah, that ending, man.
Oh
Good
my God,
lord.
Ryan Fitzmagic was face masked, like head turned all the way around, and still threw the ball like. It ended up being a 41-yard pass. I think it was like 35 in the air
Yeah.
to Mac Hollins, who dropped easy touchdown catch
Yeah.
a couple drives before. So he's redeemed with that.
Yeah. But the funny part is Mahomes commented on it and said that's the best no look pass ever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that game, man. And also that was a scoreagami. That was the first time 26-25 scores happened.
That's crazy.
I think we had like 2 or 3 of those this week.
Yeah.
I think the Saints Vikings was a scoreagami. Forgot to mention that.
Good lord. Yeah, Derek Carr with 336, 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs 69 yards. Aguilar 155. Waller 112.
Yeah, Aguilar had 2 huge catches and runs. He had
Yeah.
2 really long ones.
Yeah, and Miles Gaskin for the Dolphins came back this week from COVID. He had 82 yards, 2 touchdowns, and receiving, and 87 yards rushing. Like, he had a good game.
Yeah.
That's a good game for him.
Yeah, he's been doing good since coming back. He was what was he hurt earlier in the season? He came back a couple weeks ago, and then he got COVID, and now he's come back again. He's been through it this year, but man, he's performing.
Yeah, definitely.
But with the win, the Dolphins moved to 10-5. They're one of 5 teams that are 10-5 in the AFC, so they still have to go out and try and win for sure. Week 17. The Raiders, of course, are out of the playoffs with this loss or with last week's loss. I mean the previous, but I know for sure they're out now because they're 7-8.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's a close one there, and there were some questionable decisions. They decided to kick the field goal there at the end instead of getting the touchdown. They didn't run the clock out enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just that's just the way it goes, man. Either way you call it, it seemed like the Dolphins were just destined to win that game there. But
Yeah.
um, good effort, Raiders. Kind of a disappointing season. They had a couple big wins to beat the Chiefs this year. Their only team to beat the Chiefs, and they just couldn't get it going, consistently with Vegas there. But a good effort there. It's a wild season, and they did. I feel like they did good, but it's just they should
Yeah.
have done better. you know.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of
Let's
weird they
see.
took two out again. I feel like
Like
if
he's the
the I
closer.
feel like yeah, I feel like the Dolphins if yeah, the closer pretty much like Fitzpatrick they put him in whenever they need the game closed out, which I mean, I'm okay with that if he keeps getting it done like he is, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, see, and I noticed like Tua's one that he can run around to make a play. Fitzpatrick's one that he's going to sit in that pocket and he's going to get that pass out quick. They're going to do
Yeah.
quick passes up the field, and he's good for that.
Yeah.
So I think this is a case where you got a guy that can last the whole game in Tua. Um, but if you need those quick plays, get it up the field, get out of bounds kind of plays, Fitzpatrick fits that, and he doesn't have to work the whole game either. So it's really like a starter moving to a closer role, and it just like in baseball, and I think that it works for him. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
and it's good because both quarterbacks seem to be cool with it. The team seems to rally around both guys, which is good to see because I think that at first there was some kind of maybe anger or disappointment with Fitzpatrick, with Tua getting his job after having honestly a pretty good start for Fitzpatrick. It did get better once he stepped down and Tua came in. So I think the Dolphins are doing fine. I'm kind of hoping they get in the playoffs. There's
Yeah.
as long as my Titans get into playoffs too. Um, but I think
Just
they've
leave the
earned it,
Colts
this
outright.
year. Yeah, just leave the Colts or Ravens out. One of those two.
Yeah.
No
I
offense
don't
to the
want to,
Ravens or Colts, they're both good teams, but I
I
think
don't think the Ravens deserve it.
yeah,
I
I
don't.
mean it's this year's been weird for them because there's been some times where which we're kind of jumping teams, but there's been some times
Sorry.
with them where like they don't have the passion with them. Like
Yeah.
the Titans game was one where like the Titans were kind of disrespectful on the logo to before the start of the game, and the ones that came out to talk to the players was the coach. Like
Yeah.
the Ravens didn't rally around each other. They didn't stand up for their team and their fans, and then after the game it was just like we didn't have enough today or stuff like that. Not it just I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way the way the
Yeah.
Ravens have been, and then of course the COVID kind of the way
Everybody
they've been
getting it
handled
pretty
it.
much.
It's yeah. So I'm not really rooting for the Ravens this year.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But
Sorry, Ravens fans, but
and the other three teams, they're the wild card teams right now. You have other than the Ravens, you'd have Colts, Browns, and Dolphins, and I think all three of those have done excellent this year.
yeah.
And the Titans, I'll throw them in there too, and they had a couple COVID issues. So I mean, I'll take up for that, but um, I just think I think the Ravens just kind of they rubbed me the wrong way this year, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely.
But on to the Sunday games, we had the Falcons and the Chiefs, and this was a lot closer than most would think, and really it was a field goal away from the best kicker in the league right now as far as
Yeah.
accuracy.
Who
Misses a
missed it?
field
Yeah.
goal to end the game, and they lose by a field goal. As I believe his time expired there.
Yeah, it
Um,
did.
but yeah, Chiefs win at 17-14. It was a better day, I would say, by the Falcons. Definitely on defense. They just the Chiefs are used to getting 30 to 40 points
Yeah.
each Sunday, and they didn't. They only got 17, and 10 of them in the fourth quarter. So I mean,
Yeah.
you felt like maybe the Falcons would finally get one, and it would be a huge upset. And
Nope.
honestly, the Falcons aren't playing for anything right now.
Yeah.
But it's something that you got to go out and play the game, do your job, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Matt Ryan had 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Let's see. Calvin Ridley 130, so not bad. Mahomes 278, 2 touchdowns. And Kelsey 98, 1 touchdown. So not bad. It wasn't a bad game. It was just I watched this game and I expected a lot more scoring than I really
Yeah.
got, and I'm just like, well, okay, it's gonna be that type of game.
And I'm looking, and the Falcons had 4 fumbles in that game, only lost one.
Yeah,
So I guess it looks like 2 of them went out of bounds, and they recovered one.
yeah,
It's I mean those are some times where they could have falconed it up, and the Chiefs would have taken over.
yeah,
But one big positive for the Chiefs, Travis Kelsey has now set the record for receiving yards in a season by a tight end. He passed, I believe it's
Kittle.
Kittle. Yep, Kittle had it before. So I think that's just going to get more and more each year.
Yeah,
It's a fun time to watch the tight end position basically be a big wide receiver.
yeah, right.
So I think all those stats, records, they're just going to be blown away in these next few years. And even adding in Darren Waller, Jonnu Smith, I think is one guy that could be in there eventually. Mark Andrews. I mean, there's quite a few good tight ends
Yeah,
in the league right now, and it's kind of cool to see just more weapons out there for these quarterbacks, and then guys can block too. That's also a thing they have to do at tight end. So
yeah, definitely.
let's see, and the run game for the Chiefs. They were missing Edwards-Helaire. Le'Veon Bell did get banged up in this game. So Darrell Williams was their feature back with 46 yards rushing there as the leader in rushing.
Yeah,
So Edwards-Helaire, they need to get back, but I feel like the Chiefs are still good either way. Um, but yeah, this might have been a little bit of a wake up call. They'll probably rest players this coming week, but they'll
yeah. I
definitely
think the
need to hit
rest
the
of
film room.
Mahomes. I'm not sure who else.
Yeah, I mean, because I would they have so many wide receivers that you could put in there if you
Yeah,
need to
true.
rest guys, and so yeah, this week they're not playing for anything. They got the number 1 seed locked up. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how these teams that are locked in, how they handle it.
Yeah,
I know a few teams are gonna be resting players, but those guys still want to win the games, So, but we'll have to see and we'll talk more about that in the prediction side of this. But Chiefs take the win. They are 14-1. Falcons are 4-11. Looking for maybe a top 5 pick, top 10 for sure, in the draft. So that's the one positive for the Falcons. And then next up we had the Browns at the Jets, and the Jets have done it again. They got a win
yeah, right.
over the Browns, and now the Browns are one of those teams in danger of losing a playoff spot. Just a couple weeks ago, they were looking at maybe winning the division if the Steelers could collapse.
Yeah.
But they got a little wake up call against the Jets.
I
Not.
think this game is different if Baker has his receivers.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the COVID got to what 3 of so what 3 of the receivers: Jarvis Landry, Peoples
Yeah,
Jones, and the other one was a pretty big one too.
yeah, all three of them are big and out, so
Yeah, so I mean,
it's definitely a lot different if they don't get out. They didn't really run the ball a
at
lot this
all,
game. They only run
at
it
all.
18 times. Like that's
45 combined rushing yards between
yeah,
3.
yeah, that's not good.
No, especially when you have
if
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
yeah, right.
Um,
But overall, I mean, Baker Mayfield 285, 0 touchdowns, just 2 rushing touchdowns for the Browns. I think they were trying to come back there at the end and almost did it, but not quite. Frank Gore can go out happy. He doesn't have to go out 0-16 or whatever.
yeah, but now
uh,
he's hurt or something. He's gonna miss the last game, I think.
yeah, yeah, I saw that too.
It's like, man,
Jeez.
he's right at 16,000 yards rushing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. But, Jets got to win. Nothing really special for that game. but they definitely have locked themselves into the number 2 pick now
Yep.
instead of number 1.
Yep. So they'll be
So
picking 2 because the Jaguars got the
lost.
loss, and then so yeah, now it's a lock for the top 2 picks. I
Yep.
think 3 through like 12 could all mix around. So I don't.
Yeah, 3 through 12 can still change, and I'm
Yeah.
still mad about that, but
Yeah.
we'll
Because
get to it.
what's the like lowest the Panthers could get? Like I think you said 8th. It might be lower
Uh,
than that though.
it depends on who all does what this Sunday.
Yeah.
But the Bengals handed us a gift, and I'll get to that whenever we talk
Yeah.
about the Bengals.
Yeah.
My good lord.
I do want to mention Baker Mayfield had 3 fumbles and lost 2 of them.
Good
So
lord.
that was a big part, and his receivers were mostly tight ends. Austin Hooper, led in receiving yards there. So
Yeah.
it was a rough one, and another one with unfortunate circumstances because of the virus and everything. But Jets get the win, and it's good to see like these teams that are really have horrible records still go out and play. So I appreciate that for the Jets. Just go out and play the game, try and get some wins,
Yeah.
boost your stats or something.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I mean these guys, it's their job, and they're proud to be playing. So
Yeah.
it
They're
just
not
kind
gonna
of
go
kills
out
me
and
that
lose.
the
You
fans that
know?
are like go lose so you can get a better pick.
Yeah.
So I'm on the side of play the game, have fun, try and get a win every week. So
Yeah. Definitely.
and they got it done. So they are 2-13. The Browns dropped to 10-5. Once again, they are tied with like four other teams that are one out or 3 wild cards, and the Titans, of course, are 10-5. They're in the division lead right now. But yeah, all those teams are tied at 10-5 right now. It's
Crazy,
wild.
man. Yeah.
And next we have the Colts and the Steelers, and I'm pretty sure we both picked Colts here.
Yeah.
But Steelers, they get it done. They moved to 12-3, dropping the Colts to 10-5. It was
Kind of
28 to
surprised me,
24.
you
It,
know?
it was a big comeback. It was 21-7 at halftime, and then they had 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to come back, and they won 28-24.
Yeah.
They turned it on second half. It looked like
Yeah. Still no rushing attack, though.
at all. Yeah,
Like, what? 20, 22 yards total, it looks like? Like, that's insane. 341 for Big Ben, 3 touchdowns. 96 for Juju, a touchdown. 74 for Deontay Johnson, a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, a lot of good stats there. Steelers came back in the end and won this. I didn't expect them to, but kind of interesting to see. I thought they would keep sliding, but looks like they figured something out. But still think they're going to need to run the ball to be successful in the playoffs.
yeah. They kind of feel like a one round and out kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
definitely.
which kind of sucks because they had such. I mean, what they kind of just got by a bunch of games in the season, but they've had a pretty good season overall. I mean, they were undefeated through 11. Um, but yeah, they look like they can catch the ball a little better this last game, so that's a good sign for Steelers fans. But yeah, you got to be able to run the ball a little bit, control some clock, and that's the best way to do it is run the ball
Yeah,
efficiently there. And they just don't really have it this year. I know they've probably had some. I think they had a couple go down on the offensive line. Maybe that was part of it, but you gotta be able to find some way to keep you know making up for your missing pieces and stuff if you want to make a run at the Super Bowl.
yeah.
But I do want to shout out the boy Alex Highsmith, got 8 tackles, 4 solo, and 2 quarterback hits. He was so close to getting a sack on Phillip Rivers, but just didn't quite get him there. He did affect the pass one time, got him as he was throwing. I think that one might have been either the interception or just an incompletion, but good to see him out there doing his thing. T.J. Watt also on the other end of it, doing well, and he's still probably in the talks for Defensive Player of the Year. Haven't looked at the kind of the voting of what most people are saying, but
Yeah.
he's definitely had a great season there in Pittsburgh. And I don't know, Colts are one of those teams that I really kind of feel like they're a better team, but then they do stuff where they barely get by the Texans, or they kind of let the Steelers come back in that one big time.
Yeah.
So they're always a threat, but I don't know. They look a little more human here lately. Of
Yeah,
course,
definitely.
they're missing. I think they had DeForest Buckner get hurt. They've been having injuries like everybody else, but I don't know. They're gonna need help to get in the playoffs, and they got to take care of business against Jacksonville's. Their
Yeah.
lucky Week 17 matchup, a team that wants the first overall pick. Um, but yeah, I mean, the Colts, they should get the win this week coming up, but they're still going to need help to get in the playoffs there. So,
Yeah, definitely.
and next up we have the Bears demolishing the Jaguars with a 3-touchdown third quarter. Mitch Trubisky looked good. David Montgomery's been looking great here lately. And yes, it was
Yeah.
Jacksonville they played against.
Yeah.
But it's good to see, man. Bears fans have been really disappointed with their team, and it's good to see Trubisky, one of the top picks in his draft.
Yeah.
Taking care of business there and using David Montgomery well. The coaching has gotten better since play calling went to the offensive coordinator. So yeah, it's a lot looking up for the Bears, and right now they're in the playoffs. They just have to win, take care of business themselves, and they're in. So a lot to look forward to for the Bears.
Yeah, I kind of called it. I said the David Montgomery would have a big day, and of course he did, because apparently everybody can run against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But Jaguars were without their running back. They have started. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name.
Ogunbowale?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
yeah.
with that.
He had a good day, but I feel like James Robinson would have helped a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they
And the Bears
benched
took advantage. Yeah.
and they benched Minshew again,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. What is he doing? Is he killing somebody every week? Like, I don't understand.
There's got to be something behind the scenes on that, because I mean, Mike Glennon, no offense to the guy, he's a good. I'm not gonna say good, but he can manage a game maybe.
Yeah.
This one obviously he didn't. He threw 2 interceptions. But I mean, he had 200 and some yards. That's a game manager kind of deal. They've been leaning more on the run with these quarterbacks. They've been rotating in.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Minshew, I don't get it. They were all in on him last year. Once I think it was Foles went down there last year, and so Minshew had to come in, and he did well. Considering.
Yeah.
And then this year he had an injury, I believe, earlier in the year. Maybe there's some lingering issues from that, but
I don't know, man.
I don't get why you wouldn't go with him, and I don't really get why you're all going in on a quarterback in the draft when you have Minshew, who's he's good enough, I think, if you build around him.
Yeah. It's a lot of confusing stuff going on. I do not understand it. Start Minshew. I think he's overall a better quarterback than Glennon is, to be honest. Like,
yeah, I mean, from what we've seen, I mean, Minshew is more than what Glennon is, but
yeah.
they
I
went
don't
with
know.
Glennon, so I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to get that first pick locked
Yeah.
down, But yeah, that was their 14th straight loss, so they started off 1-0 this year. But yeah, Bears 8-7, right on the edge of being out, but they are still in the NFC side of the playoffs. Next up, we have Giants at the Ravens, and the Ravens took care of business. That was one that I kind of thought maybe the Giants could come out on top, because the Ravens have been kind of, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But they won 27-13. Most of the Giants scoring was in the second half. It was 20-3 at halftime. So the Giants had the advantage in the second half, 10-7. But Gus Edwards had a pretty good day. J.K. Dobbins got in. Yeah, they had a pretty good run day. Gus Edwards
definitely.
85, Lamar 80, and J.K. Dobbins with 77. Dobbins got a touchdown. Passing, he only had 183 yards with Lamar, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones came back. He did a decent day. They didn't have a run game though, which is something they've kind of had pretty good in other weeks. So yeah, it was just a little bit of a. I knew Ravens a little better on defense than what the Giants have been playing against the run, at least.
Yeah. This is pretty much a must-win for the Giants, and now with them losing this game, they're out of it now. So.
No, they still have a shot if they beat the
Oh yeah,
Cowboys
that's right. That's right.
and Washington loses, but.
It's a long shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather see a 7-9 team in the playoffs than a 6-10.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this really was like one where you don't. If you're the Ravens, you don't want to get like a trap game kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because they needed to win this one. This wasn't going to be just a rollover team. Like the Giants are playing for something, for sure, and you don't want to take them lightly. And they didn't. They came out pretty strong in that game, and took care of business. So they're looking like a pretty good one for the playoffs. I think they have tiebreakers over a couple teams.
Yeah.
Even if they do lose and one of them lose. So looking pretty good. They're in the playoffs right now with just the Colts as the only 10-5 that's out in the
Yeah.
AFC. But they're still gonna have to come away with a win week 17. So just to make sure.
Yep, definitely.
Next up, we had the Bengals. It had the Texans, and Bengals came out on top, helping out
Yeah.
Travis's Panthers for
The
draft picks.
Bengals served us a big steak on a platter, and then the Panthers go and win and just dump the steak all over the floor.
Yep.
Meaning that when this game finished, I was happy because, the Panthers are going to be picking third in the draft. And I'm like, yes, the third pick, that's going to be awesome. And then we go and win, and I'm just like, well, dang.
Well,
But
this
anyways.
helps out the most, though?
So who?
The Miami Dolphins, because
Oh, yeah, because now they're picking, like, fourth, aren't they?
they have the Texans pick, and they're a playoff team. So the Texans losing this game, they're 4-11, so they're looking at a top 5 pick as a playoff team. That was part of the what was his name? The lineman. I had his name.
No, not Dwayne Brown.
The one that got in trouble for the mask.
Tunzel?
Yep,
No.
Laramie Tunsil.
Oh, that is okay.
Yeah, he dropped in the draft because of the I don't know, pot mask scandal thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was part of that trade there, and
God.
yeah, so the Texans pick will be going to the Dolphins.
Crazy, man.
That's wild, and I'm telling you, man, Dolphins are gonna be loaded if they draft well.
Yeah. But Brandon Allen, 371, 2 touchdowns. Samaje Perine had a good rushing day, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing. 99 yards for T. Higgins, 1 touchdown for the Bengals. Deshaun Watson, another big day, 324, 3 touchdowns. David Johnson broke 128 yards, 1 touchdown. He averaged 10.7 yards per carry.
Jeez, man.
Brandon Cooks had a big day, 141 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, the Texans aren't bad, but they're not good,
Yeah, I think I saw something earlier today. It was like quarterbacks with 8 or more multi-touchdown games and 0 interceptions. And so you had guys like Aaron Rodgers, I think Tom Brady was on there, Patrick Mahomes, there's one other, Russell Wilson maybe, and then Deshaun Watson. And the records in those games were like 9-1, 8-0, another 8-0, or 9-0, and then Deshaun Watson's like 4-4 or 3-5 or something like that in those games. I mean, so his team is just letting him down, man. He needs another team or better players around him, better defense there. They have a lot of things they need to fix down in Houston, and I
Yeah.
don't know, but they're right there in games. Even I mean, I know this is the Bengals, but last week they were against the Colts, had a shot and they fumbled in the red zone.
Again.
Again, twice this year they've done that, and so it's stuff like that. You just got to clean up defense. You don't want to give up 37 points to the Bengals with Brandon Allen as their quarterback.
Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? And but great offensive day though for both sides. Defense seems to be a struggle for both of these teams. Um, but yeah, I mean Bengals win, Texans lose. Bengals are 4-10-1, and the Texans are 4-11. So that's the Bengals are still ahead of them in the draft, ahead of the Dolphins in the draft there. But
Yeah.
so yeah, and your Panthers are behind both of those spots.
Yeah. It's a struggle, man. Good lord.
But yeah, so Bengals come out on top there, 37-31. Let's see, and that's their first road win since 2018.
Dang.
Goodness. Oh man.
Jesus.
But next up, we had the Broncos at the Chargers, and the Chargers actually won this one. It looked like like a typical Chargers game where they're gonna let them come back or something, or they're gonna blow a little lead
Yeah.
at the end. But they did get it done. It's the third straight for the Chargers as Herbert set the rookie touchdown mark as well with 28
Yeah.
on the season. Um,
Literally, his only touchdown pass of the day. He said it.
yeah, so
That's all he had.
he's looking to maybe extend it this week coming up, but
Yeah. Hopefully he
19
can.
to 16 score there. Drew Lock had a good day yards wise at 264, but two interceptions and no touchdowns. It was more of a special teams game, it seemed like, for the Broncos and kind of for the Chargers. Their kicker actually made most of his field goals on that day. So,
Well, that's good.
yeah, his name is Michael Badgley, and I used to call him Badly because he would badly miss it.
Oh,
But
terrible.
yeah, but yeah, Chargers win. Those are two that they would have been. I think they would have been tied if, or no, it would have flipped. Broncos are 5-10, Chargers are 6-9.
Yeah.
So that's all they're playing for really is draft picks and pride.
Yeah.
But good day for Justin Herbert. He's looking like he's probably gonna be rookie of the year. If not Justin Jefferson, I think
Yeah.
the record breaking may set Herbert up, for getting it. But we'll just kind of have to wait and see on that one. But
Yeah.
overall, it kind of take care of business game. It's just it wasn't really much to play for there.
Yeah. Just play for a win,
Yep. Next up, your Carolina
Our
Panthers
Lord.
against the football team.
We we beat them. I wouldn't say so bad, but kind of so bad that their quarterback got fired. But it also has more to do than just that. But
I think
I
he
do
did it
find that kind of
himself.
funny.
Be honest, he did it himself more.
Yeah, but Curtis Samuel, man, had a big day. 106 receiving yards, 52 rushing yards. Like Curtis Samuel needs to be re-signed. We haven't signed him back yet. And Heineke came in at the end of this game for the Redskins, and he played pretty good. I think he's starting this week if Alex Smith can't play. And then there's also rumors that the Panthers are interested in Dwayne Haskins, which
Yeah.
is so weird. But Antonio Gibson came back, 61 yards rushing for him. That's good to have him back for the Redskins.
The football team.
Oh, sorry, football team.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Heineke. I mean, it's another former Panther on the Washington team there.
yeah. And
Um,
Thomas Davis announced he's retiring
yeah.
after this year. He's on the Washington football team.
So y'all got a guy fired, and
Yep.
you
Gotta
made a guy
win, and then-
retire, and you got to win.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
And then, but honestly, I think the big play in this one was the muffed punt by the
Oh, yeah.
Washington football team into the end zone,
Yeah.
and the Panthers just kind of fell on it. So
Yeah.
that was the big play there.
Yeah, and it was a touchdown difference. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
things like that, man.
Yeah, Chin had 8 tackles. However, I think Chase Young did enough in this game. I think he caused a fumble or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had one forced fumble and one recovered, so he forced it and recovered it.
Yeah, but
So
we here at Section 431 support Jeremy Chin with, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, we have a Carolina Chin in the left.
yeah,
That's who that's for. Jeremy Chin, if you didn't figure that out. Colored in Panthers colors and everything. Uh, yeah, so we like to have fun here with the editing. I got it on the video this time instead of just in the thumbnails.
hey,
Yeah, but
yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I think Chase Young kind of locked it up this game for Defensive Rookie of the Year, even though we still think Chin should get it because
yeah.
he overall does more. You know?
Yeah, because Chin is one that's all over the field. Chase Young, I mean, he's great. He does what he's supposed to do, but he's one position.
Yeah,
Um,
he does one thing.
but he also got the captain patch. I think this before this game this week.
Really,
So I guess they took the one off of Dwayne Haskins and put it
they
on
did.
him. I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy giving rookies captain. But
yeah, right.
he must be a strong leader, even as a rookie, I guess, with that team.
Yeah,
So you like to see stuff like that, I guess. So
yeah. So I kind of wish the Panthers would have lost this one, but I'm happy we got a win, so I can't complain too much.
yeah,
But losing what 8, 9 draft spots that hurts.
yeah. Well, the good thing is there's a lot of teams kind of right there that maybe they snag a win somehow, and if you guys
Yeah,
lose, but hopefully you just get whoever you need at your spot. I mean, what you're looking for a quarterback today, Justin Fields. He's one they've been saying all year. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence number one and Justin Fields number two. They've
yeah,
changed to maybe Trey Lance at number two.
yeah,
But now Justin Fields, since Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State quarterback, has gotten fired, now they're like all Ohio State's quarterbacks are just no good in the NFL. They don't have a good track record. So now
yeah,
Justin Fields has dropped down to ninth on I think it was Todd McShay's mock draft board or
yeah.
whatever.
Did you say
Um,
Trask?
Kyle Trask is way lower, I think.
Yeah, Kyle Trask. The people are saying he might win the Heisman, but he threw his first quarter interception in the Cotton Bowl tonight
Jeez.
in the first quarter.
The
So
one I saw for Heisman might be the he got the Player of the Year wide receiver out of Alabama. So I mean that would be the first wide receiver to get Heisman if he
yeah,
gets it. But I saw that he's one of the favorites now. Been doing pretty well in Alabama, but yeah, I mean there's five quarterbacks I've seen pretty consistently: Trevor Lawrence,
yep,
Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, and Kyle Trask. All of those guys I don't think will go in the first round. Kind of feel like Trask will probably drop out of the first round, but it kind of just depends on what teams do. I'm sure there's going to be some movements. We talked about the some of the veteran quarterbacks that may be moving around this year. So there may be one that's just kind of let go and get used as a draft pick to bring it
yeah,
in. They may draft a quarterback, or they may pick up quarterbacks this year.
yeah,
So there's a lot to look for, and there's a lot of players out there coming in this year's draft.
yeah. You just never know.
So yeah, even if your team wins and drops down the board, I don't think it's the end of the world. But it does help
Never
some of these teams.
know.
And then next we have the Eagles at the Cowboys, and the Cowboys took care of business. Did
Yeah,
not let the Eagles in that game. Really, they were down 14-3 after the first, but the Cowboys woke up, come back, and they finished off 37-17 with a 34-3 run from the second quarter on. So, good day for them. Ezekiel Elliott got over 100 yards. It feels like it's been forever since he's done that.
right.
Andy Dalton had a good passing day, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns. Michael Gallup had a really good day with 2 of those touchdowns and over 100 yards receiving.
Him and Cooper finished with 121 yards
Oh, the
each.
same, yeah.
That's kind of funny. But I think if the Cowboys keep winning, if they win this upcoming week, who do they play this upcoming week?
They play the Giants, so the winner of that is in if Washington loses. So
Yeah,
they both would need Washington to lose to have a shot,
yeah.
and
I could see
Washington's
it
playing the
happening.
Eagles.
You know.
Yeah, I mean it could happen. Washington and the Eagles. One thing that's a problem to me, they made that game the Sunday night game, but the Cowboys and Giants is earlier game,
Yeah.
and I grew up a Cowboys fan a little bit. My dad's a Cowboys fan, and we all know that the Eagles, if they see the Cowboys will get in, if Washington loses, they'll probably tank so Washington wins and the Cowboys don't get in. That's what every Cowboys fan is telling you right now, is saying to everybody right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the Cowboys, all you can do is take care of your game, and just hope for the best in the other one for a shot. But uh, I do feel like the Eagles are probably not going to play as hard against Washington, but we'll see what Heineke's made of in that game, and we'll kind of just see. Hopefully, they'll see Washington as a bitter rival, and they'll go out and play like you're supposed to. I mean, you don't want to go out there and tank for anything. I mean, it's it's a division rivalry game. The guys need to show up and play. But
Yeah.
but yeah, Cowboys fans I know are like, oh crap, Eagles have to win for us to get in. Like,
Yeah. Right.
uh, but yeah, Cowboys took care of business. They're 6-9, tied with Washington, um, and the Eagles moved to 4-10-1, so they're another one up at the top draft pick spot, up there with the Bengals and the
Yeah.
the Dolphins and the Panthers, everybody up there.
I don't think they need a quarterback though.
No, I think Jalen Hurts is probably their guy.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
he's been pretty good for him. You kind of hate to see what happened with Wentz, but he's just not been productive at all this year. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's kind of having a Jameis Winston year where he's getting touchdowns, getting some yards, but he's getting a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
And you just can't have that nowadays, especially if you're going to be a franchise quarterback. But next up, we have Rams at Seahawks. This was one the Rams had a shot to maybe win the division if they'd have won this one, but the
Yeah.
Seahawks come away with the NFC West title with a
And
20-9 victory there.
yeah. To be honest, and now I think the Rams are in trouble
Yeah,
without golf this upcoming week. It's looking like he's not going to start, and also Cooper Cup is on COVID list now,
no,
so it's not looking good for the Rams. What is there a way that they can lose out and not
yeah.
make it?
If they lose and the Bears and Cardinals win, which I'm pretty sure they're playing against the Cardinals. So if the Cardinals win over the Rams, they're in, and if the Bears win, they're in, and then
Wow.
the Rams would be out. Yeah. So the Rams need to win if they want to keep going. If they win though, there's no way they can get out. They'll be 10-6. The
Yeah.
best the other two can be is 9-7. So it's all a tiebreaker deal with those that would keep the Rams out. But
Yeah.
let's see. And the Seahawks, they came away with a 20-9 win. It was. I think I watched a little bit of this one. It was kind of a. I don't remember anything special out of it.
Yeah.
But the Rams are a good defense. They have been all year. Seahawks are a decent defense. They keep games close and stuff. But the Seahawks are one that's going to be interesting in the NFC for the top spot in the playoffs, which we'll talk about that. They're a pretty key factor between the Saints, Seahawks, and Packers for that number one seed. And it's a wild way. It's some tiebreaker stuff that works one way but doesn't the other. But we'll
Yeah.
cover it. It's a little wild there.
I think it's. Let me think. Give me 1 second. I'm thinking. If all three of them end up tying, I think the Saints get it. But if it's just the Seahawks and the Packers that are tied, the Seahawks get it.
Yeah, I feel like the Saints have the tiebreaker over the Seahawks, and the Seahawks have the tiebreaker over the Packers. I think
Yeah,
that's how I remember. But we'll do the playoff machine again. You guys on YouTube side will be able to see that in a little
it's
bit. But
complicated.
yeah, it's a complicated one. But Seahawks are looking good. They're locked into the playoffs. They're NFC West winner. So at worst, they'll be the third seed because they're not going to drop below the four to the 4 seed because that's the NFC East.
Yeah,
So yeah, good season for the Seahawks and looking to continue another home win. Even without fans, they are 7-1 at home this year. So that's pretty good for them, and they'll have home field for at least one game in the playoffs.
yeah,
So I
definitely.
don't think they shouldn't have it for the second round. So, but good one there, NFC West title. And next we have the Snow Bowl. Titans visited Green Bay, and there was some terrible refereeing in this game.
Yeah,
I'll give the Packers their props. They had the better game plan, but there was let's see, there was an offsides that did not look like offsides, and that brought a blocked field goal back. We ended up getting the ball back out of that though with a sack right after it, and then there was a huge play. Guy, I don't think it
Aaron
was
Jones.
Aaron Jones. Yep, stepped out of bounds. He had a big run anyway, but he stepped out of bounds after the first down.
Yeah,
The referee is literally 5 yards away, looking directly at the man's feet, touching the foul line. And you can tell the difference between the grass and the snow because they blew the snow away from the foul lines. So it wasn't an argument there. And, if you're the Titans, you're like, well, the referee was right there. What good is a challenge going to do? And honestly, we shouldn't have had to challenge it. So we,
yeah,
we
right.
saved the challenge. And there was more in that, and I don't really want to dread on. I'm glad we had a couple days where I could just kind of chill out before doing this. But
Yeah,
it was a 40-14 loss for the Titans. I believe it should have been a little closer, but it's a great game for Rodgers. There was no slipping in this game. I didn't see any, and so there's no
yeah,
excuses.
no,
There was no bad footing either side. The passing game was good for obviously for Rodgers. Tannehill, I
yeah,
don't think had as much going for him, and the run game we kind of leaned on. Just couldn't get as many completions on the Titans side.
yeah.
But
I
98
mean,
yards rushing for Derrick Henry, and if he'd have gotten 2 more yards, I think there was some record I posted on the Facebook page. I think um, most 100-yard rushing games in a row or something like that, or in a season. He was two
dang.
yards away from it. No, it was road games with 100 yards or more in
Oh,
a
okay.
row. It was like 8, and
Yeah.
it was a Barry Sanders record, but it was not to
Wow.
be 2 yards short.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, Devontae Adams had a big day, 142 yards, three
yeah,
touchdowns.
that dude is doing amazing things because he's missed. What was it? Was it 3 games, 3 or 4 games this year?
Yeah, he missed some. He missed games early this year.
Yeah, because
Early.
he's leading the league in touchdowns receiving. He's got like 17, and yards is top 5. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, he deserves some credit, man, because that dude is all over the place. They talked about it in the game. Great footwork. I mean, he's an awesome receiver they got in Green Bay,
Yeah.
and
I
but
think this game, honestly, I mean, Mahomes didn't have a really good game this week. I think this game really
yeah,
puts Rodgers as the favorite for the MVP.
yeah, he's got to be MVP. I don't think next week could change that, and they're not going to vote based on playoff performance.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Rodgers to me, yeah, not really a fan. I kind of like Mahomes better than Rodgers.
Yeah.
Um, But Aaron Rodgers definitely deserves MVP this year.
Yeah, I think
Mahomes
so
is
too.
up there. Josh Allen is up there, I think, but no way he's going to get it. That's just the way it is. And then Derrick Henry, I've seen, and Russell Wilson in the top 5 usually most people's MVP race. But
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers he's just above Mahomes, especially this year.
Yeah.
So I think he should get it, the MVP this year.
Yep, I agree with you.
Let's see. Anything else I want to talk bad about this game? Oh my goodness. Titans had an interception. That was pretty cool. The Packers had 2 interceptions. That
Oh
was
yeah,
that
I
was
heard
not
about
cool.
that. Didn't Malcolm Butler intercept Aaron Rodgers
Yep.
and then just do a subtle championship belt type thing.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see it. You know what? Probably when he did that, I wasn't even watching anymore. Being honest.
I think he did. I think I heard about that, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I don't know, but good game by the Packers. They raved about AJ Dillon on the broadcast. 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's a great day for him. Great day for Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers as well. Our defense just didn't quite show up today. Sunday. Um, but hopefully, bounce back. We got the Texans coming up this week. Hopefully, we can take care of business there and still get that division title and
Yep.
fourth seed in the playoffs. So the Titans moved to 10-5, and the Packers moved to 12-3. They are the 1 seed in the playoffs, but like we've mentioned before, there is a shot they could drop as low as the 3rd seed. So we'll break that down a little bit there, but. The Monday night game was it was kind of close the first quarter, and then it just took off for the Bills.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, great day, 320 for 4 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs saved a lot of fantasy teams in that the last hour there with Stephon Diggs getting 145 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Huge day for him. He's now leading the league in receiving yards, just past Travis Kelce
Oh wow.
on this season. He's only ahead by like 30 some yards, and it's tight for that top guy in the receivers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good game. Josh Allen 324 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs 145, 3 touchdowns. Insane. Patriots again sucked this week. Only bright spot I would say is Sony Michel.
Yeah,
69 yards. Like that's the only real bright spot. I think it's time for Cam to sit down and it be Stidham.
yeah. Like it kind of surprised me. He's another one. Stidham, like, kind of like Minshew. Like, why are they not going with him? What is? I mean, he's not shown anything that makes me think, oh, this dude's a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's a young guy that you can get experience in, and they've kind of done it here lately. Um, but I don't know. It
He
just seems
comes
kind
in
of
when
like they're
Cam
wasting him.
sucks.
Yeah, they're just kind of wasting him there. And Cam Newton, I mean, he changes it with his being able to run. He did get a touchdown. He had 24 yards rushing, which isn't much.
Yeah.
And Sony Michel, I think, had 2 or 3 pretty good runs that made his stats look good. Um, it was kind of a bad game for the Patriots. I think the Bills just had the answer for them, and they studied the film for sure on the Patriots, and the Patriots just weren't quite ready there.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, but that is Week 16. The Bills, by the way, move up to 12-3. The Patriots down to 6-9.
Beasley hasn't been much of a factor yet tonight. Here's how.
Sorry, some audio coming through there. My bad.
But
But yeah, so the Bills are looking at being a 2 seed. I think they can still drop to the 3 seed. But we'll go on to the playoff machine for you guys.
yeah, playoff machine in week 17, our picks.
Yep. So let's see. I'll just go by the order we have on the thing here. This here, if you're watching on YouTube, it has the playoff picture. That's what it is now. As we pick each of the matchups here, it'll kind of affect the board differently. Won't really be able to tell until right at the end how it's going to go. But there are 8 teams. Well, there's 7 teams that could get in. There's one in each conference that is just outside by tiebreakers. And those teams are the the Cardinals are 8-7, tied with the Bears. And in the AFC, it is the Colts that are 10-5, tied with everybody. It seems like in the AFC.
Yeah, right.
But up first, we'll go with the Dolphins at Bills.
Okay.
Dolphins need to win to stay in. I think they can lose and still make it, but a win would definitely help. The Bills will probably be resting players. Steelers are resting players. And really, the best you can get is second or third there. I don't think it's that big a deal to them. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll still come out there and play everybody. I kind of want to go with Dolphins on this, just because, I feel like they're going to have more fight trying to get in than the Bills trying to just preserve a second seed. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins here, and that should lock them into the playoffs.
Oh, well, Sean McDermott is not revealing if he's ready starters or not. So, I don't know. But, who'd you pick on that one?
The Dolphins.
Dolphins?
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins, too. Just going based off of... I'm going to say that the Bills rest them.
Yeah, and they forgot to mention the lines here. I picked that up too. The Bills are a 2-point favorite. It's supposed to snow a little bit in Buffalo, Orchard Park. And the over-under is 44.5. So, I mean, the snow could affect the Dolphins a little bit. But they are pretty good with the run game here lately. So I think that helps them a little too. I'm going to stick with the Dolphins. Bills, I'm with you there. We'll probably be resting players.
Yeah.
Whoops. Let me pull up.
At least like the second half, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I got I got multiple screens going on the YouTube side, guys. Sorry. But yeah, Dolphins, and that locks them into the playoffs. Then next up we have. Let me get over there. Okay, next up we have Jets at Patriots. This game doesn't affect anything. Jets are locked into the 2 seed. To the second pick. And the Patriots, if they lose, they can move up the draft board. But that's really all that's to gain or lose here. Yeah. Let's see.
I was gonna go ahead and say I picked the Jets.
All right. And Patriots are 3-point favorites. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go Jets too.
They're probably gonna lose, but Jets.
Yeah, we'll see. Jets doesn't affect anything. I don't even think it could affect tiebreakers anywhere else. So Jets over the Pats. I'm cool with that.
Right.
This one does factor in Ravens at Bengals. Ravens need to win to get a spot in the playoffs. Bengals, if they lose, they move up the draft board, or if they win, they move down. I don't think they really care too much. They're not looking for a quarterback, and there's their needs. They should be able to find a couple spots down if they have to. So the Bengals, they could come out and play just because division rivals. So that's cool to see. Let's see, the odds or the line on that one is. Baltimore is 11.5-point favorite.
Yeah. I'm going to say Baltimore in this one, but Bengals could come out and surprise us and blow up the playoffs for the Ravens there.
Yeah, how awesome would that be for the Bengals?
Right.
Backups all around. Their franchise quarterbacks down, but they're still fighting for their fans and for the team.
Yeah. I saw a video of Burrow already up and walking.
Yeah, I think that, what was it, a few days ago?
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, he might be back next year, which would be great for them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're hoping he'll be ready for preseason in week 1, because they put a lot on that guy, and hopefully they get some offensive line in this draft, because they got to protect that guy. He seems to be pretty good with weapons. I think AJ Green's been one that may not be there for him. I think they may draft some wide receivers for guys that aren't going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some offensive linemen they can get. Then they should definitely get it. This year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens. I'm kind of rooting for the Bengals though, just for pride there on their end.
Yeah, same.
But of course, if the Ravens win, that locks them in the playoffs with the Dolphins. That locks them at. I think the 6th seed is the best they can get with the Dolphins winning. So you got our 5th and 6th seed there. And then next up we have Mason Rudolph going up against the helmet slinging slasher and the Browns. Myles Garrett, they're having a little rematch. Steelers, obviously they're going to have Mason Rudolph. They're resting some players. They're locked into that 2 or 3 seed. Browns need to win to stay in the playoffs. If they lose and the Colts win, then they're out. So, a lot to play for them. So,
yeah, I'm picking the Browns for this one because I just think they got more to play for, and they should be fine.
All right, and that'll put let's see. So that'll put the Browns at the 7 seed, Bills at the 2 seed, and Steelers at the 3 seed. And that's who I'm picking too, the Browns.
Okay.
On that one, let's just for fun, we'll say okay, the Browns are 10-point favorites, so we're not crazy. It's also supposed to snow in that game as well.
Good Lord.
Then next up, we have the Cowboys at the Giants, and this is to see who's going to be the competition basically for Washington. The winner of this game is in if Washington loses. So who you got in the Cowboys and the Giants?
I'm going to go Cowboys.
Yep, that's what I'm going to go with as well. Cowboys 2.5-point favorites. It's supposed to rain in East Rutherford for that game. But yeah, I'm going to go Cowboys on that one. They just the Giants have been a decent team of late, but last week was kind of rough. They didn't have a good run game. Yeah, it was against the Ravens, but I feel like the Dallas offense has just been clicking, and I don't know that the Giants have an answer on defense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Cowboys on that one. And for right now, it'll show them in the playoffs, but that isn't, of course, final until we do the Washington game, which is the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
But that puts them at 7-9, so they'll be tied with Washington if Washington wins. But next up, we have Vikings at Lions, and that's one they're not affecting anything. But let's just see what the odds are. 7-point favorite for the Vikings. Yeah, I got to go with the Vikings there. Lions last week was terrible, and the Vikings were pretty bad too. But I think they can get it done in that one. It'll be interesting to see the last game of Justin Jefferson's rookie year. See if he can put up some good stats for that. On the other side, you have DeAndre Swift, a rookie running back. See what he can do, in this game. But I'm gonna go Vikings.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going Vikings. I think Stafford hurt. I think the Vikings have a better team, And I just think with the injury to Stafford and backup quarterback, I think the Vikings should win this one.
Yeah, the Vikings defense is they have them ranked on here. The offense is ranked 6th, but which I think is, I don't know what they rank them off of, but that's pretty high. But their defense is pretty bad. But going against backups for the Lions, that could be a big one for them to get a win there.
Yeah,
and they would move up to, let's see, what would be 7-9, and the Lions would drop to 5-11 there. All right, and next up we have Falcons at Bucks. Bucks are locked in. I think they could drop down if the Rams win. I believe. I'll just mess with it real quick and see what could happen there. Yeah, okay. So the Bucks could drop to the 5 seed with a loss and a Rams win. But I'm going to pick the Bucks here. I think they get it done to be the 5th seed in the NFC side of the playoff bracket.
Yep. I'm going Buccaneers on this one too. But Falcons, could falcon and upset the Buccaneers there. But I just think the Buccaneers will get it done.
Yeah, I mean, and the Falcons have, they played against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it's a guarantee, but I feel like the Bucks, they should be able to get it done. They're at home too. So they've been good all year. But again, if they lose, they only drop one spot in the bracket, so not the end of the world there.
Yeah.
And then next up, we have the Titans at the Texans, and Texans, they literally have no reason to try and tank. I mean, they don't have that pick that they're gonna have. The Dolphins have their pick. They don't even draft until I think it's the 2nd or 3rd round this year. So the Texans, you can guarantee they'll be out there playing full force. J.J. Watt came out this past week talking about how he had a really good speech. I think we shared it on the Facebook page. but about just going out, playing for your fans, playing for yourself. Real motivational speech he gave at the press conference. But all that being said, I really hope the Titans take care of business. Do not want to lose to the Texans. And I need Derrick Henry to get at least 223 yards so we can have a 2,000-yard rusher. But my pick's Titans, of course.
Yeah, I'm going Titans here. I don't know. J.J. Watt's kind of one of those inspirational speakers who can make me, run through a wall.
Yeah.
Like, him and Ray Lewis both are good at that.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. But I think the Titans are a better football team overall, and I think the Titans are going to win it.
Yeah, and this is one, we can't lose. We can't afford to lose this one. Colts are playing the Jaguars. They'll be playing at the same time, so they'll probably be scoreboard watching there. But the Titans, all you got to do is handle your business and get the win, and you don't have anything to worry about. So the Colts will probably be watching the scoreboard more than the Titans, but hopefully they get it done. This past week, the Packers are a great team, so I don't think that's and it was odd conditions and some questionable calls in that game. So as long as we're indoors, we have good referees, the Titans should be able to handle it. Plus, I think we have some guys coming back, and they're like Adoree Jackson just came back for the Packers game. What a first game to come back to.
Yeah, right.
So hopefully he'll get the rust off and come in there and take care of business there. We usually do late in the season in divisional games. It seems like these past couple years. So they look to do that once again. And then on the other side of this, that will lock the Titans in to the 4 seed. But interesting that coming into this game, the way we've predicted, we already have the Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns winning. So the Colts will know they have to win to get the division. That's the only hope. They have to win and the Titans lose at this point, because they play at 4:30. The Colts play at 4:30 and the Titans play at 4:30 Eastern. So they'll be playing at the same time after those other 3 wild card teams have already played. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Colts get it done, but unfortunately they're not going to make it into the playoffs because there's 4 11-5 teams that have tiebreakers over them.
Yeah. I was going to go ahead and pick the Colts game. I'm picking the Colts too.
Yeah, Colts. They got the Jags, man. Because unless they put Minshew in.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, Colts win that, and they missed the playoffs based on our predictions here. But just to kind of show the YouTube viewers, if the Browns lose, the Colts are in. If the Ravens lose, the Colts are in as a 7 seed. If the Dolphins lose, then the Colts are the best the Colts can get is the 7th seed with just one loser. If the Titans lose, they could get the Titans could be the 7th seed with one of those teams losing, or I think if the Browns lose and the Dolphins win, that's the only way the Titans can lose and be out, because the Browns beat the Titans earlier this season. But everybody else, the Ravens and Dolphins, the Titans have a tiebreaker over. So we got the Titans winning, the Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns all winning to get in. So the AFC side is decided.
Yep.
We'll come to the NFC. There's some of the last games of the day this week. But first up, Raiders at Broncos, kind of just a rivalry game to see. A little bragging rights there.
The Raiders are out, aren't they?
Yeah, both of these teams are out. Raiders, I think, have the better team. They'll be playing in Denver. But I got to give the edge to the Raiders. I still kind of believe in them a little bit. That'll put them at, 8-8 or 7-9?
Yes, 8-8 for the Raiders.
Yep, so that'll put them at 8-8. And, that's not a terrible, season. Of course, they would have liked to have been in the playoffs, but Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yep, I'm going the Raiders too there. I think they're just overall better than the Broncos, and it should be a good game though, definitely.
Yeah. And next, Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs will be resting players, so there's a chance the Chargers could come away with a win there. It doesn't affect anything if the Chiefs lose, so I don't know. I'm gonna see the line on this one. I haven't been getting
I'm
all
gonna
of
go
it.
out on. I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here and say Chargers get it done, with the Chiefs resting people.
Yeah, and the Chargers are 3.5 point favorites in this game. So, and that's probably because they just know they're going to rest players.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, let's go with Chargers winning that one. And the standings, let's see how that affects. With a Denver loss, if Denver wins and LA were to lose, I think that's the only way that it could change the standings as far as playoff. I mean, as far as draft picks. So
Yeah.
but we'll go Chargers there. No real effect anywhere on the board there.
Okay.
Then the Bears and the Packers. So if the Packers, they're not going to be resting players.
No.
So the Bears have a pretty good task ahead of them. Yeah, that's a big one if they come away with a win. Yeah, and that guarantees them a spot in the playoffs if they win this game.
Yeah.
We'll look at the odds just to see. They'll be playing in Chicago.
Yeah. I know who I'm gonna pick just because the Packers aren't resting anybody. I'm picking the Packers, but
Yeah.
I hope the Bears still make it.
Yeah, which I think they still can. We're gonna look through it, but I think they still can even with a loss because they have the tiebreaker over the Cardinals.
Okay.
But the line in it is Green Bay by 5.5 over under 52. It's gonna be 38 degrees and partly cloudy, which I don't think really affects. I don't know how the wind will be there in Chicago, but that could affect things.
Yeah.
Based on what I've seen, the Packers are a really good team, and they need to win to guarantee the first seed, which I think they find pretty important to have home field throughout. I kind of want to pick the Bears, but I'm gonna say Packers. I think that's fair. Maybe that'll be bad luck for the Packers or something to help out the Bears. But
right.
yeah, so that makes the Bears 8-8. That locks the Rams in, win or lose, I believe. Yeah, that should lock them in. Well, no, let's see. Yeah, so they'll get a spot whether they win or they lose.
Okay.
And then next we have the Saints and the Panthers. Saints, of course, were trying to get the 1 seed, but they can't if the Packers come away with a win.
Yeah.
Panthers are looking for a good draft pick, maybe.
I picked the Saints to win this one, but I find it funny that they moved the start of this game to 4:25.
Yeah, I could
They
see it,
moved
but
the start time.
I could
to
see
the
it because
same time.
of the Seahawks game and the Packers game. They have them
Yeah.
all playing at the same time, and I think that's a good move.
Yeah.
So I could see that's probably why they moved those. But it is weird. Carolina never plays at 4 o'clock at home. But yeah, it makes sense for the tiebreaker for the 1 seed. But yeah, so I mean the best they can get is the 2 seed if the Packers win. So yeah, I'm gonna go Saints on that one.
Yep. Same.
All right, so that's 12-4 for the Saints, and they are the 2 seed. Then we have the Cardinals at the Rams, and this is where things could get a little messy. With a Cardinals win, the Bears are knocked out. Cardinals are the 6th seed, and the Rams are the 7th seed. With a Rams win and this is with a Bears loss. With a Rams win against the Cardinals, the Rams will be the 6th seed, and the Bears would be the 7th seed with the Cardinals on the outside.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a big game, which they'll be playing at the same time as the Packers and Bears. So they'll be looking at the scoreboard and stuff there, both sides.
Which that kind of blows up my plan because who I picked for this game is actually the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Just
see,
because
the way I
golf.
want to see it, I mean, yeah, because nothing against the Rams, but I would kind of like to see the Bears win, and then it'd be the Bears and the Cardinals,
Yeah.
which I think could happen. Yeah, it could be. And if the Bears win, I don't think I showed it, but the Bears win, they would be the 6th seed, Cardinals 7th seed. And if the Rams win, Bears win. Rams are 6th seed, Bears are 7th seed. It's a lot of scenarios.
Yeah. But
But
I'm gonna go Cardinals here.
yeah, with Goff being out, Cup being out, the Rams defense is still really good, but they've had some pretty bad losses,
Yeah.
like the one against the Jets. And you think if they'd have beaten the Jets, I mean, they might not even be worried about this game, you know.
Yeah, right.
So with our picks, we have Cardinals winning, so that knocks the Bears out. But you get the 9-7 Cardinals and 9-7 Rams. Make the playoffs there at 6-7. All right. Then next we have Seahawks and Niners, and even with the Seahawks win, the best they can do is 3rd seed with the Packers and Saints winning.
Yeah. I'm still picking the Seahawks to win this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll stay at 3rd seed.
Yeah, so I think I don't know how hard they'll be playing in this one, but because there's nothing really to lose. But I'm gonna pick the Seahawks. I think they should have it. And the 49ers, I believe, will finish 6-10, which is a great record for what they've been through this year.
Right.
But Seahawks finished 12-4.
All right.
And then the Sunday night game to decide the NFC East. Washington has to win to make it in the playoffs. If they lose, we have the Cowboys picked against the Giants, and the Cowboys would be in at the 4 seed. So with the Cowboys winning, I'm pretty sure me and all Cowboys fans think the Eagles will probably tank. But I'm going to pick the Eagles. I'm going to think, they come out, they play like they're supposed to. Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback, I believe, than Taylor Heineke, even though he did do pretty well coming in this past week. They have a good defense in Washington.
I'm going to say this.
I think the Eagles have a different element with Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to say this. Eagles win it if Heineke starts. If Smith starts, the football team.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm picking the football team.
Yeah, they'll be playing in Philadelphia. It's supposed to rain. It'll be 45 degrees, and it is a 1.5 line in favor of Washington. So it should be a close one.
Yep, that is close.
All right, now to just mess with the machine here. Let's say Green Bay loses and the Bears win. All right, and you just saw, if you're watching on YouTube, how that one game changes things all around. All right, so Green Bay wins. They're the 1 seed. Saints are the 2 seed. Seahawks are the 3 seed. All Saints and Seahawks are tied. Saints have a tiebreaker over the Seahawks, and the Packers are 13-3. The 6th and 7 is Cardinals and Rams, both tied at 9-7. So if the Bears beat the Packers, the Bears get in the playoffs at the 6th seed, Cardinals 7th. Both of those two teams tied. The Saints, Seahawks, and Packers all tied at 12-4. The Saints move from the 2 seed to the 1 seed, and the Seahawks move from the 3 to the 2, and the Packers drop all the way to the 3 seed.
Good Lord.
So yeah, there's a mess there that could happen if the Bears beat the Packers.
Do the Packers losing, the Saints losing, but the Seattle Seahawks are winning?
Okay. So if the Saints lose, the Seahawks would get the 1 seed. Then the Packers, the 2 seed.
There it is.
And the Saints being 11-5, they'll be the 3 seed. So yeah, the Seahawks have a tiebreaker over Green Bay, and the Saints have a tiebreaker over Seattle.
Crazy.
But yeah, and of course the 6 and 7 would stay the same with the Bears winning. But yeah, man, it's wild. And just one other kink: if the Rams beat the Cardinals, then the Bears drop to 7, and the and the Rams moved to 6. So
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot to watch, especially on the NFC side. AFC is all in the wild card, and one division's up for grabs. If the Titans lose, the Colts could take that. Which I think we kind of covered that. That one's pretty simple. Basically, these three here, the Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns, if they all win, they're all in. If the Titans win, they take the division, and the Colts are the one that's left out. If the Colts win and any of those three lose, actually any of those four lose, like if the Titans lose, the Colts become the 4 seed. If the Browns lose, the Colts become the 7. I think any of these lose, they become the 7. Yeah, because because the Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns all have a tiebreaker over the Colts. So they're either going to be the 4th seed or the 7th seed. And there's a way where the Titans could still lose and still get in as a wild card. Or if, let's say they both lose. If the Titans and Colts both lose, which I don't think is likely, the Titans could finish 10-6 and still have the division and the 4 seed with the tiebreaker of the Colts.
All right.
But yeah, man, it's a lot to watch this week. Of course, if you're not watching any of these teams, really, you're watching your team, see where they're going to be in the draft. There's a lot that can shake out around there. Hopefully, you can see the, on the YouTube side, you can see the standings a little bit here. Of course, the top 2, it's locked in. Jags are number 1, Jets are number 2. But then, 3 to, I think I said 12 earlier, but it may be less than that, but are like a game apart each way. With the predictions here, we have, it looks like Bengals, Dolphins maybe the top 4 or 5, with the Falcons at 4 and 12 would probably be the 3rd or 4th pick there. So I mean, there's a lot that could happen.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy Sunday,
Yeah, and you feel for the Colts, man. I mean, as a Titans fan, I don't really care, too much. But that would be like for you probably seeing the Falcons not make the playoffs or something. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But we'll fix the our picks back to what we all had to. Let me make sure I got so I can see. I think that's all what we had there. But yeah, I mean, the Colts they need one of those teams to lose. They feel like they're going to win against the Jaguars. The NFC side, man, for the 1 seed, the Saints are rooting for the Bears and trying to win against the Panthers. It's just...
Yeah, the Panthers could upset. To be honest, they could.
I don't think I've ever seen one game, the Packers and Bears, be so decisive over the whole playoff.
Right.
If that one game, if the Bears win that one game, there are 5 spots in the playoffs that change. 5 out of 7. It's just crazy, but that's pretty much it for our picks. Kind of ramble a little bit. Sorry about that, but we do have some other sports news we can bring up. Let's see.
I was looking at the Hornets game tonight. It's kind of interesting. They're beating the Mavericks at halftime. Oh, well, geez. It's now the second half in the Hornets versus Mavericks, and the Hornets are winning 73-57.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
I see the Tar Heels lost to Georgia Tech, 72-67.
Dang.
Yeah, that's not good for old Carolina there.
What's Charlotte doing? Anything?
I don't think we're playing tonight. We play New Year's Day against Western Kentucky, the Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, I see.
Are
we undefeated?
No. I think we have 2 wins.
We've got
4 and 3. 4 and 3.
We're what?
We're 4-3. We've won the last three though, 3 in a row.
Hey, we lost to App State, Georgia State, and East Carolina.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. I see Supica's playing a lot. He's still there from when me and you were there.
Yeah. Yeah, we got. I think it's a couple guys still there.
Yeah, that's about all I remember. Who else was there?
I don't know, man. I feel like that was a long time ago, and it was only what, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
I don't know.
Jeez, man. Baseball. I do want to bring that up. The Padres are trying to compete big time. They got Blake Snell, they got Yu Darvish, and they got an infielder from Korea who's looking pretty good as well.
Yeah, they're trying to compete with my team, the Dodgers, and I'm sitting here like, y'all can load up all you want. Bring it. It'll be fun to watch.
Dude, I'm rooting for them though. I like to see it. I mean, that's a team that I don't. They've never won a World Series. They've been in one in like the '80s, I think. They lost that one. No, it might have been early. It might have been more recent than that. But that they're a team that you had Tony Gwynn. They've had Ozzie Smith. They've had good players. Now you got Manny Machado. You got
Tatis.
Yeah, Fernando Tatis. Eric Hosmer's there even. Now they've added to their pitching rotation. I think that's cool to see for me at least. I know it's a division rival for you, but it's good to see teams that kind of haven't been there really growing.
Yeah.
And the Rays have kind of been that. They've kind of been on the edge a few years and sometimes in the playoffs, but this year, man, it was kind of a weird year, but they kind of took off and took advantage of it. And which they're losing Blake Snell, but they're gaining a lot of prospects from San Diego. So it's gonna be interesting to see how those guys perform down the road. For Tampa, but they had another. I think we had another one we mentioned.
Kind of going back to football, we had our fantasy Super Bowl this week.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that. That was one of the worst Super Bowls, man.
Hey, last year's was worse because I didn't even stand a chance last year against you.
Well, yeah, I put up points. So this year it was like 90-something to 60-something.
Yeah,
I had so many like 4-point, 5-point guys.
Yeah. See, for all the viewers out there, I've been in a fantasy league for how many years now, Ryan? Like 6 to 7 years I've been in this thing.
Yeah, in that league, yeah, I think that's what it was.
And then
been in the play like one of the top teams every year.
Yeah, and then I added Ryan here to it last year, and he goes and wins it all.
And I beat him last year.
Yeah, and then luckily, I don't even know how I wasn't supposed to be there. But somehow I made the championship with you last year, and I was not ready for that. My team was not good enough, and I knew it.
Yeah, what was the score last year? I saw it pop up on
like
my
120 something to 60, I think. It was bad last year.
This year I didn't do too hot. I had like 63, I think.
Yeah,
and you had 96. So
this year I kind of knew I had a shot to win it. And then everything just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
Even without McCaffrey. I had McCaffrey this year, but I had a crap load of running backs.
Yeah, true. I think I did it with quarterbacks. Like, I would just have so many quarterbacks, and I'd pick the wrong one. It seemed like every week. Yeah,
so this year was 95 to 63 was the final score this year.
Oh, okay. Well, I did win the... I won one league that we're also in where it's 4 teams, and of course, what does he do? Say, "Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to that one," and I'm like, "Man, but I won."
I wasn't paying attention to that one.
Yeah, you and it was you, your girlfriend, and some other guy.
Yeah.
And then it was me and the other guy that were in the championship, and I won pretty good in that one.
Yeah.
Every other league I was in, I finished like 5th. So
yeah, kind of like I was talking about last year's though. Last year's I was 7-6 and made the finale.
Yeah, I was like 10-2 or 11.
Yeah, 11-2.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
I was not ready.
Oh man, but yeah, it was a fun year though. I mean, it was weird for fantasy football. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. Like you had to move guys around a lot.
Yeah.
And the leagues we had, I mean, it was pretty easy to kind of. It was a small enough league where you could kind of pick guys up. And it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the injuries killed a lot of teams that thought they had the guy, and injuries or COVID would cause them to not have the guy.
Yeah, right.
Let's see what else. Oh, hockey news: Zdeno Chara, longtime Boston Bruin, is headed to Washington, to the Capitals. Kind of blew my mind. If any hockey fans in the section here, that was a wild one for me. They just I think they just released him today. I saw a story yesterday or today. They released him, and then like within an hour, I saw that he got signed by Washington. So pretty good move there. They also they had gotten the Rangers goalie that Henrik Lundqvist, who we mentioned before about he had some injury that he wouldn't be able to play this year, but that was a long-time Ranger that was going to Washington. But yeah, so I mean, news going all around here lately. Baseball, hockey starts just a couple weeks. January 13th. That's when we'll have hockey back. Basketball's kind of getting in full swing now. My Nuggets got one win, and then we lost to the Kings. I think we've lost to the Kings twice already. I don't know what's going on there, but Jokic is getting triple doubles. I like to see that. I think he had the most assists by a big man in a game since who was it? Wilt Chamberlain. So I'm like, all right, we're doing something right, but yeah, it's just.
Let's see. I'm not sure how many wrestling fans we got, but Brody Lee. People might know him from WWE as crap. What's his name? I just blanked on his name. Hang on one second. I gotta. I knew his name, but I forgot it literally as I was thinking about it. Brody Lee, Luke Harper is what he used to be known. That's right.
Okay, yeah.
He used to be a member of the Wyatt family. For all the wrestlers, don't know what I mean by that. But
yeah, I'm not a wrestling guy, so I have no idea. But that is sad because he was only what 41 something.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah.
Crazy man, crazy.
Yeah, they had a. I know we said no politics on here, but we did. There was a senator or representative or something that died from COVID. He was only 41, and he's supposed to take office, in just a week. But yeah, he passed away too, and it's everybody stay safe out there, man. Do whatever at least social distance, with all that stuff. But yeah, man, it took a somber turn. We gotta get something happy to leave the people on. Let's find a joke or something, man.
Well, Christian McCaffrey's out for.
Oh, that's a joke. Oh my god. Oh man. But yeah, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening, watching. However you're viewing this, we are on YouTube. If you're listening, Spotify or any kind of podcast, audio only listening, we are also on YouTube as Section 431 Pod. We have Twitter, we have Facebook. We try and put stories and different thoughts on during the week. Outside that maybe we don't cover on here or we see it, we post it up on there. Go and like our pages, follow them, so we can kind of see who all's listening. It's kind of cool. We're kind of just doing this for fun, so we appreciate any kind of viewers or someone else can enjoy it. That's cool to hear. Let me see. I'm gonna find a funny joke to leave you guys on.
I got you something right here. It's it's a news post. It said Daniel Radcliffe came to aid a mugging victim. Victim, please know I have a family. LMAO, who's going to save you, Harry Potter? Daniel Radcliffe emerging from the shadows. Oh, you guessed it, buddy.
Oh my goodness. And that'll do it for this week. We'll just end on a joke each week. How about that?
All right.
We'll be better prepared next time, though. But thanks, guys. This was episode 8 of Section 431. Thanks for stopping by. And like I said, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, and everything like that. Tell us what we can do better. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. I mean, we'll take anything.
I hate you both.
Yeah. Don't be too mean. Travis is sensitive. But yeah, thanks again, guys, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.